right, everyone. Hope you're having a good day. We're going to do a quick preview of Chord Academy, of the lesson we did today. We're in week 10. I can't believe we're at week 10 of Chord Academy, but it's going really great. And for our email list, I sent out this PDF. And of course, if anybody is not a member of iMusic Academy or you're not on the email list and you just want to screenshot that, it should be big enough to where you guys can see it. But anyway, here's what we're going to talk about. So we've been talking about building chords. So any major scale that you know, you can use formulas. We call them formulas to build chords. So if I want to build this chord, this first chord, a simple G voicing, G13 voicing, and I do the formula of root, flat 7, 3, 13, and root on the top, that is a chord formula that I could use over any key. So I have to know the scale of G. G has 1 sharp, F sharp, and I say, all right, there's my F sharp. And to get from a 1 to the flat 7, you go down a whole step from the root, and now you have a root and flat 7, and then 3, 13, and then my root again on top. Okay, so that's for the first chord, G. And one way I like to practice that is going up and down. So if I go from here up to A flat, now I have an A flat 13. That's root of an A flat scale. A flat has 4 flats, B flat, E flat, A flat, and D flat. And this is a very quick overview, but I want to show you guys how you can build confidence by learning your major scales and then learning these chord formulas that you can use to play in any key. And it really is that easy. And one way you can do that is by saying, okay, here is G, and we have root, flat 7, 3, 13, and our root again. And if I want to get out of my comfort zone, I might go up a half step. So yes, I can look and say, all right, I'm going to go up a half step with every single voicing. And then I have root, flat 7, 3, 13, and my root again on top. And one thing I like to do, and to get all of our students to do, is to actually write out your formulas. So this morning, we have about almost 30 people in Chord Academy now. That includes the people who are iMusic Academy members and people who are just a part of Chord Academy, which it's a really, really cool thing. So I hope if you're even remotely interested in joining the Chord Academy, it's really, really affordable and it's a lot of fun. And I just wanted you to have this free lesson today so you can say, hey, maybe this is for me. And maybe it's not for you. So let's go ahead and dig in. Again, I wrote everything out. So I said, all right, G13. If I want to play a simple G13 like this first one right here, you're going to do root, flat 7, 3, 13, and root. And so my G major has 1 sharp, and that's the F sharp. That's my formula. So if you picked out any particular key, if I was in the key of F, and I say F major has 1 flat, and that's B flat. So I go root, flat 7, 3, 13, and root again. And what I like to do is practice an up-down approach. It's just one of the many, many ways you can practice. You can say go up by a half step. Now that's A flat, root, flat 7, 3, 13, and my root again. And so maybe I want to go down a half step with the same formula. So I could even go, all right, here's my comfort key. I'm going to take each note, go down a half step, and now I'm at F sharp 13. I'm going to do root, flat 7, 3, 13, and root. And now I'm going to put it in a little rhythm. So, and notice that my left hand I'm just doing quarter notes. That's a nice feeling, a little bluesy thing to just to kind of loop that. You can really do some fun things between the hands as you get those kind of loops going. You could go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. First time I went 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Then that time I went 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. I could go up a half step. And a lot of times what you'll do is when you're playing songs, like jazz songs and things, you might do like down from the 1 chord down to the 6 chord. That's not a bad thing to practice either. All right, so now let's say that we've done that for a while. We have this particular voicing, and it works great in blues and in jazz, and it's just something really nice for solo piano to get under your fingers. The next thing we said is, all right, we're going to go up and put the 9th in there. So now you have root, flat 7, 3, 13, and 9 on top. Now, what do you think about that? That's a nice 13 voicing. And notice that I'm practicing it in half steps, going up and down, the same kind of thing. Maybe you want to do the up-down approach where you say root, flat 7, 3, 13, and 9. Go up a half step to A flat. And let me give you another really important thing. This is kind of pro level stuff right here. If I say that's a G13, and I love this kind of voicing even on some different instruments, but you have that ninth on the top, so it gives it a little bit different of a sound than just the root on the bottom and the root on the top. If I put that ninth on the top, I can do things like this. Now what am I doing there? It's actually not fancy at all. I'm just arpeggiating those 3 notes. Now, if I go up a half step and I'm at A flat, I could do the same thing. Now, doesn't that sound fancy right there? But all I'm doing is arpeggiating those 3 notes. Now, here's a really, really important thing. At Chord Academy, we always are looking at shapes and ways to play things to make it easy to transpose. I'm going to give you one important tip right now. One of the most important shapes you could learn for both the left hand and the right hand is the intervals of a fourth, so fourth voicings. If I play E up to A up to D, that's a fourth voicing. E, F, G, A, B, C, D. So notice in this particular voicing right here, G13, this is the middle voicing. You have an interval of a fourth, B up to E and E up to A. So this is important because a lot of our really nice voicings that we use actually have the interval of a fourth in them. Even when we play left-hand voicings, like a simple C major voicing, 3, 6, 9 in our left hand, that's the interval of a fourth. So we practice these intervals of these shapes of the intervals of the fourth. You get these fourth voicings. So once you get this shape down, you can start to play it in any key and it becomes really natural for you. So here's the way we're going to do it. We're going to get this G9 root, flat 7, 3, 13, 9, and we're going to go up and down by half steps. And just remember that is a nice little flashy way I can say I could play this fourth voicing going up and down. Technically, now I wasn't planning on doing that, but isn't that even that a nice sound? So I'm here and I go up and then down. The same thing, so same thing on the way down. That's a great practice there. I have to add it in some of the things we do. But even in its most basic sense of going up and down, it's a really good thing to do. And the only reason I can do that is because I've practiced this idea of playing the fourth voicing and get used to this spacing. It's a shape. And so when I play this right here and I go root, flat 7, and then there's my fourth voicing, same thing here. All right, now hang in there because what I'm going to show you next is going to blow your mind because it really is an amazing last chord that we are going to do. Okay, so let me give you a couple other pointers since this is we're getting a lot of people that I'm sure are brand new and don't know anything about Chord Academy. I'll explain that in a few minutes, but let's talk about one simple way to think about chord voicings. So if I said to play an octave, that's G up to G. One of the first things I like to teach is you say go down a half step from any root note and it'll give you the major 7. That's kind of an obvious thing. Ba-da. If you go down a whole step, it gives you a flat 7, so root up to flat 7. And I like for you to be able to practice this kind of thing, so I could pick any note and say that's C octave, that's C major 7, and that's C dominant right there. So let me do it again, G. So that takes care of root flat 7 on any key. The next thing is we say the shapes, okay? So you have B up to E up to A. That's really nice. That's an easy way to quickly get to that voicing. And yes, you can practice it in whole steps, half steps, all kinds of things. But I also want you to notice several things that are happening. You have this shape, which is great, and that shape, and you put them together. So what I like to do is actually write out the formulas. Root, flat 7, 3, 13, and 9. So we have that voicing, we have this G13 in its most basic sense. Now the next chord is a G sharp diminished, and actually I discovered this chord not from any book or anything. I remember several years ago, it's been at least a couple of years now, and I was just playing around. It might have been a Christmas song, who knows? But I stumbled upon this idea of doing this as a diminished chord. Now, isn't that like, to me, that's an amazing sound, just the way that is. So, like, if we're doing in iMusic Academy, we're in a Christmas boot camp thing that we're doing, and so we're doing Let It Snow. That's one of our songs. So but fire is so delightful, right? So this idea of A minor, and I'm doing A minor 9 there, I kind of like that sound, and then I go down to this diminished, but it's not this diminished. It has the major 7 in there, but it also has the sharp 5. So it's this. And I'm going to tell you why this works in a minute, but I literally had to think about, even the other day, even though I've been playing this chord for a long time, I kind of like that as a nice, and I go to my minor, and then I can do whatever I want to after that, right? But here's the thing, you go, fire is slowly, now I wouldn't really play that necessarily as while I'm singing it, but it's nice. It still is beautiful the way it is. Lots of tension. Now, why in the world does this work? And how in the world did I get the voicing down? Is because I said, all right, I'm thinking A flat diminished, which is a chord built on minor thirds, A flat, B, D, F, same notes as F diminished, A flat, B, right? All that goes all the way up and down. But then I said, okay, whole step. So if you take the diminished scale, which is a scale built on whole step, half step, whole step, half step, and you go all the way up, you get those notes, which are actually a part of the chord. Watch this. There's that E, and there's the G right there. That's why that chord works. And I'm calling it an A flat diminished major 7 sharp 5. So we have minor, diminished, and minor, you have lots of options there. I could go to a G minor 11 if I want to. That's nice too. Now at Chord Academy, we are literally on week 10 right now, about to be on week 11. We've done everything from Barry Harris chords, Bill Evans chords, 2-5-1s. Everything is always written out, and I give context on everything. Like, this is how we practice these things. And so we meet every Tuesday and Friday, and we have a 30-minute, which is, being honest with you, it's usually like 40 minutes or 45. But I always say, all right, we're done with the lesson, and then if you want to hang out, you can hang out. And a lot of people end up hanging out. So it's a really fun group. What I love about iMusic Academy, and just being totally honest, is in addition to having all the courses, it's the community. It's a really fun community. We have retirees in there. We have some younger people in there, and people all scattered out through pretty much all over the world. It's not a ton of people. It's probably like in the 30 to 35 people total, but we are growing with the right people, and it's a lot of fun. So if I would encourage anybody that's considering either Chord Academy or iMusic Academy, which is the all access thing, just email me and tell me about your story. We have a lot of beginners, we have some intermediate players, and a few advanced students as well. But I'm telling you, the beginners and the intermediate players, everybody, nobody judges at iMusic Academy, and everybody loves you exactly as you are. All right, so Chord Academy, as I said, we started at first. I said, all right, here's like the first voicing we did. We did like 2-5-1 in C. We play in every key, and I always do the lives. So you have Tuesday and Friday are lives, and then I also teach tricks, and I do standalone videos to say, hey, we had the lesson, but now here's an all keys training for you this week. And so I do tons of work, tons of PDFs, and it ultimately is like it's like an investment for you guys of one coffee a week. It's going to go up fairly soon, but it's literally like $19.99 for the whole month, and that's 2 lives, all the PDFs, all the trainings. It's ridiculous, and I call it buying me a coffee per week. One coffee a week. Now, if you're wanting to do what a lot of people have done, is they say, I want the whole thing. That means iMusic Academy on Mondays, which is blues, jazz, Ray Charles, Bill Evans, all of that. Monday and Thursday are those lessons. and then Tuesday and Friday are Chord Academy. But when you're an all access member, you get everything, all the trainings, you get online access, you get access to all the PDFs, you name it. It's a crazy thing. But once again, my favorite thing is the community. Right now we're in our Christmas boot camp, so we're doing all kinds of Christmas arrangements, and we just started this last, I think Monday, I did an open lesson. So I said, and it's out there just to see what it's like to be a member. We did Santa Claus is Coming to Town, and so that's a lot of fun. We're working on that. Next week we are doing O Come Emmanuel, a really nice jazzy arrangement that I've already made, and it's going to be really nice. So you're going to get to put all of these chords, these fancy chords that you keep learning, into practice and put in some really nice Christmas tunes. All right, now that's about it. I'm going to give you one more tip. I did put links in here. I'm looking for the next brave soul that maybe a beginner, or you want to learn more about jazz, or you want to know more about Ray Charles and how to play all these Ray Charles things. I'm looking for someone to say, you know what, I'm willing to sign up and to join us. If you do sign up, you have two choices. You can do the Chord Academy, which is $19.99. We've had several people sign up for that. We have about 20 people who have signed up for that. And then we have, as I said, a total of about between 35 and 40 people at iMusic Academy. But if you're an all access, you get Chord Academy thrown in and all the other courses. But you could just do Chord Academy. But I'm telling you, several people have been switching over from Chord Academy because they want both. They want to be able to play the Ray Charles stuff as well as all the chords and everything. So anyway, the community is amazing. I don't care if you're 115 or if you're in your early 20s, you will fit in with this amazing group. All right, so here's what I'm going to leave you with. There are links to sign up. The first one is, if you want to join us, you can do the Chord Academy. It says just the Chord Academy. And then if you want, you can do the all access thing. All right, let me see something. All right, I'm going to do something else for you guys real quick. Hang in there. Make sure you like this video, because I just sent out this PDF to my email list, which is several thousand people, but I'm going to put this in the chat. So if somebody will actually comment in the chat, I will put this up. I'm going to do it anyway. But go ahead and just put a comment in the chat. Make sure you guys are with me, and I'm going to provide a link so you guys can download this. I'm going to do 1 second, and I'll get this going. I'm uploading this right now, and let's see where this thing is. I'm going to share, make a link, copy link, and make sure you guys will have access to this. It says anyone with the link can view this. Copy link, and done. Okay. Let me put this in the chat. All right, let's see. All right, so we have 4 people watching now, and I'm going to put this link in here. This is just this PDF, so you don't have to screenshot. You can get a nice little download of that. And I'm also going to put this in the description as well. So if you look, you'll see a couple of things. It says Chord Academy if you want to do that. And then here is the link. I'm going to put today's file, because you know how the chat will go away for 24 hours anyway, and so once I stop going live, this link will be gone, but it is in the description. So you have the Chord Academy and the all access member, and the all access member is literally like taking 1 lesson a month with me. I teach a lot of private lessons, and it's like $60. This is like $59, but it's an all access. It's amazing what you get for that. And I try to make it affordable for people. And if you're really wanting to learn this stuff and be a part of a cool community, I think you'll enjoy it. But let me finish by giving you guys a couple of tips. Okay. the chart is ready to go. Okay, so here are your tips. You're going to take that chord right there. And here's the thing. The very first chord is G13 with root, flat 7, 3, 13, and root on the top. Now watch what happens if I take my pinky and I go up a half step. There's that awesome, amazing chord right there. G sharp diminished with the major 7 and the sharp 5. So much tension, but so much fun, isn't it? So you can do like an A minor 9. So I could pick any chord and say, all right, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to do root, flat 7, 3, 13, and root. Well, how do what happens if I take my pinky and go up a half step? There it is right there. Isn't that amazing? So that's been one of our thoughts as we've transposed this. I did a video for our group of how to transpose this in all keys. And that's what we came up with. You're going to do root, flat 7, 3, 13, and root. And just take your pinky and go up a half step. And I like sliding from the black notes to the white notes. B minor 9, G sharp as I'm walking it down. All right, guys, I hope you've enjoyed this. I want some people to comment on this video if they've enjoyed it. I love Chord Academy, and each week that we do this, I still can't believe we're in week 10, but it's packed full of awesome chords. And then if you combine that, which most of the people who are in iMusic Academy hang out at all 4 lessons, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, so they get Chord Academy and all the context. But just imagine if you're taking all these voicings and things and you're putting it with the chords as we're learning Christmas tunes and other tunes. So it's going to be a lot of fun. All right, what I always do is say you have a minute to say goodbye before I hang up. We usually have a full group of people in the chat. They interact with each other even when I'm not on the live yet, which is really awesome. And anyway, so you have a minute for me I'm going to practice this stuff. And if you want to say hello in the chat, you can do that before we get off. So again, you're going to practice like this. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1. So you can think quarter notes in the left hand if you want. 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. Maybe go up a half step. All right, guys, see you in the next video.